Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw white fur on a white background, just a few hints and tips, things you need to know that would help you do this. So I'm just going to do this section here, just to show you. You can see I've got this really cute kitten I'm drawing at the moment. So we've got, here is going to be a shaded area, and then we're going to have a lighter area here. Now, one thing to know about white fur before you start is that it reflects lots of colours. So it's never going to be just white, and I never use a white pencil for drawing white fur on white paper because it just doesn't show up. So what you want is greys, blues, some pale yellows, maybe bits of purple, and I've also got a few pinks in there as well. So this section here on my reference photo has got hints of yellow and blue in, so I'll be doing that. So first of all, I'm just going to rub away gently any outlines that I've made, just slightly, so I can still just about see them. And for this I am using my Faber-Castell pencil eraser, which has a handy brush on the end. So, as with any drawing, I will start with a pale grey. Now, I literally start with grey on any single drawing, so if the fur is in a cold light, I start with the cold grey. So I'll start with Faber-Castell Polychromos Cold Grey 1, or if it's in a warm light, I use Faber-Castell Polychromos Warm Grey, which is number 270. But this area is mostly cold grey, so I've got the shadow just come up here, this bit, and then it goes into light over here. So now drawing shadows on white paper for white fur, if you start doing a shadow, it looks quite dark before you put the highlights in around that area. So for example, when I was doing this area, I hadn't drawn in any of the lighter areas here, and you think, oh no, it looks too dark, but don't worry, it's fine. And you can always lightly go over with a rubber afterwards anyway if you do feel it's too dark. So I'm just going to start. So I always start with the grey and just do some strokes in the direction the fur's going, which just fans out down here. So it doesn't always go in the same direction, it will move around, and then it just matches this direction of fur down here. So this fur's going this way, and that's where it marries up to basically. And then over here it's going almost the opposite direction. Now this bit's quite satisfying really, because it doesn't matter if you get it too wrong. If you find you've gone the wrong direction, you can just go over it, it's fine because you'll be putting layers down. So now we've got that basic layer down, what I do then is add any colour that will be in the fur, because you want to blend that colour into all the layers. You don't really want to put it on top ideally, unless you just want to add a little bit more colour at the end. So what I can see in the fur here, there are some yellow areas and there's some blue areas. So for the yellow areas, I'm using Faber-Castell Polychromos again, in this colour here, because it's a nice pale yellow, and I'm just going to add that here. Just in the area where I can see hints of yellow. Now, you will have to look for these colours, observe the picture carefully, just so you can see what's where. And then there are some blue areas as well, so I'll go in with my nice sky blue for that. Again, Faber-Castell Polychromos. Because these pencils are great for doing fur strokes, because you can get nice sharp point to them and the point stays for quite a while. It doesn't really blunt very easily, and they're just a nice texture. So I'm just going to go over, you don't have to be too precise. So now you've got your base colours down like that. You can then go in with some darker colours. So for shaded areas, I'm going now in with a cold grey, number 3. And so we've got this light patch here, which I'll be doing. So that's sort of a crease of fur, so which means there'll be a bit of shadow under here. So just going to go in these strokes and it'll just start to give it a bit of depth now. Now again, it might seem scary because you think, oh, I'm drawing white fur and it's not looking very white, but trust me, it looks white. And also my client was a bit worried. He said, oh, I don't know how a white cat on white paper is going to work. Is it going to need a background to stand out? Will you actually see the cat? But as you can see, yes you can. So it's fine. But yes, you'll mostly use greys, because unless a cat is in stupidly bright sunlight, it's not going to look white. If you look at them, they actually are grey. And then you just want to keep following your guidelines, basically, which you put down in the first layer. So where the fur direction goes, you just keep following that. So when you do the base layer, it's always worth taking your time, making sure you've got the fur going in the right direction, because that will be your guide for the rest of this section. Now, I've got some areas on this bit that are even darker. So with those, you could either, if I find my pencil, you can either go in with cold grey number 5, or what I tend to just go in with is Payne's grey, which is my favourite. It's really good, and I just use that lightly, basically. So just down here, and then it's a bit darker here as well. So it just adds that little bit more depth to all the shadows. Like that. And then if you've got two sections sort of interlocking together here and they kind of go in different directions, you just start flicking the direction that this fur goes in. So you've come down here like that, and then this fur goes out that way, so it's sort of a V shape. So you just want to flick a little bit. Don't make the strokes too long. Now on my reference photo, that goes into warm grey over here. This is like warm shadow. So I'm just going to get my warm grey number 2, which I used on this shadow here, and just start going over that and blending it in like that. So obviously don't be afraid of the different tones, because there will be different tones on it. The cat or whatever you're drawing will be reflecting blue sky, but also maybe grass. So you might have a bit of green in there, or the pink. So around the foot here, I've got bits of pink because the peats here will be pink, because it's only a kitten, so it's got lovely little pink feet. So just doing that to blend it in, like so. Now I do want to go a bit darker here, just to give a bit more shadow. So I'm going to use warm grey number 5, and just go in like that. Might just add a hint up here as well, but it just blends it all together nicely. we go. Now the shadow on this bit does have a fairly harsh edge, so I'm just going to leave it there like that. So now I'm going to tackle this side of this area, leaving this bit so at the moment because this is the lighter area of white fur. So this side is a bit warmer, it's got lots of yellows in it, so I'm going to go in with my warm grey, number 1, instead of the cold grey. And the fur strokes are nice and easy, one direction. So if you're practicing this, don't feel you have to go straight in with the whole animal. Just get a white piece of paper and just practice doing like a section. So maybe just do a square and just do strokes in one direction and just go over with different colours and see what you can create. So this colour continues up here and there's all folds in the cat's fur, but I'm just going to stop it there just so I can show you this small section here. There we go. So that's a nice easy bit, just all one direction there. So as I said, there's lots of yellows in this bit. So I'm going to go back in with my, what's this one called? I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I just know it's number 102. And then I just go in like that. Strokes always in the same direction. And then down here, I've got a little bit of blue. So I'll put that blue in. And again, I will use my sky blue because that's my favourite blue to use on any sort of colour detail in any animal. And also I'll use it a lot in eyes as well. It's great in eyes, especially if the eyes are reflecting any of the sky. Just do that. And then I'm just going to go that direction because again, this fur comes in this direction and that fur is going in that direction, so you don't want a harsh line. So I'm just going to flick a few bits over there to start blending that together. And then I'm going to get my warm grey number 2. That one. And I'm going to start going in like this. This is quite dark, so I'm going to be quite vigorous with this one. This is the dark side. So you can see it's already starting to marry up with all this area around here. It's all quite dark and it starts to all blend together, look quite nice. I'm just going to flick a bit down here because this fur comes up there. And again, I'm going to flick this way. And it's all quite shaded up here because you've got this fold of fur coming around. Now, one thing I'll say, if you feel you've gone too far, I recommend getting one of the Faber-Castell pencil erasers because I'm not going to do it now because I'm happy with it, but you can just go over it lightly and it will just take off the top layer of pigment. So you don't need to erase the whole thing and start again. It will just lighten it again and you can just go back over with a light pencil just to blend it in, as it might look a bit rough, or you can go over with your dark pencil again, but go over lighter that time. So I'm just going to keep working this a bit. Okay, I'm happy with that now. And then I'm going to go in with a darker warm grey. So I'm going to go in with warm grey number 5 again. Especially down here, this bit's quite dark down here. Now again, if you feel you've gone over the colours and the colours aren't coming through, you can always add the colours in again over the top, which I'll probably do with this bit, so I'll show you that shortly. So just flicking that way, and then you see it all softening and blending together. this bit starts to come out light, so I'm not going to put so much of the dark on there. And I'm just going to add a few bits there so that these bits blend together here. But just little strokes. Don't stress too much about it. Don't go mad doing big strokes, just tiny little strokes like that. And then, as I said, I'm going to go back over with a bit of blue. Not too much, I just want to give it a hint there. There we go. Now, this bit comes to more of a point down here, so I need to add in some more fur here, which is absolutely fine. So I'm going to grab my cold grey and just give myself a guide of where exactly I want to go. Just about there, I'd say. So I'm just going to use the same colours I used a moment ago on this section. So I've got cold grey number 3, which is number 232, and just going to bring that in there, blend that together there like that, and I'm just going to flick out a bit here to blend this light area and the dark area together. So I've just added this section here, which doesn't touch this bit, but I can see in light areas there will be gaps in the fur and shadow, so that's just one of those there. Just thought, while I'm here I might as well do that, because I jump around, but it's fine to do that. You can jump around if you want, you just have to draw the direction that feels natural to you. Don't worry about going directly left to right or right to left, just, you know, wherever it takes you, just go with it, because if you force yourself, it won't work. So what do I need now? Let's have a look at my photo. So I want a bit of yellow in there, just a hint like that. And then with my cold grey number 1, I'm going to just go over these, and it just softens them up a little bit. Just add a few hints of cold, like cold grey number 1, just add a few hints of that, so it's just a light grey, and it just blends it so it's not a harsh edge. And then I think I'm going to go in a bit darker down here. Got my Payne's grey again, just going to add a few single dark strokes and a bit here, just to highlight the light area like that. And then I want a little bit more down here, and then I'm going to go this way a bit because I think it hasn't got quite enough depth to it. So just go over lightly to start with, and then you can always go back and add more. It's always easier to add more than take away, especially with dark colours. So I think I am feeling pretty happy with that now. So there we go. That's how you do a section like that. So you've got your light area here blended into 2 shaded areas there, and then up here will be light. But as you can see, it looks quite scary because you think, oh, it's a white cat and it's all quite dark and there's lots of colours here and it doesn't look right. But once you add in the lighter areas, which for those I will literally use cold grey number 1, cold grey number 2, and a bit of yellow and blue, very lightly, like I've just done here. So this actually looks darker on the camera than it does in real life. But there you go. So hope that helps. Hope that's a few hints and tips for you there. And I'd love to see your photos if this has helped you. And stay safe, stay well. And I'll be back with another video soon. Thanks. Bye.